Want to know how to get more views on Instagram? You got to increase your reach. And what's the best way to do that? Well, you got to learn how to use SEO on Instagram. You're watching Instagram SEO hacks you're not using yet. And we're going to dive deep into how each of these top 4 SEO tips and strategies are currently helping boost your own discovery on Instagram and could possibly do so much more for you on the next level. So what we're going to do now today is have a full-on discussion with one of our incredible guests who's returning once again, this time on YouTube. So let's get into it today as we help you step your gram up on the latest episode of the Social Roundtable. Welcome, everybody. Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. It is the same show, but at a different time. And we are so glad that you guys are joining us today. This is the Social Roundtable at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're changing things up a little bit, but it's the same old show that you love. We're bringing you the same information with new guests and crazy conversations as we always have before. And as you can see on the screen right now, we're going to be bringing you some information about Instagram SEO because it is something that we believe you should learn, you should understand, and you should be utilizing to help push your Instagram content to new people. It's going to help you increase your reach when you fully understand it and know how to utilize its power. And today we are joined by a special guest that knows how to do that very well. I can't wait to talk to her. But first, I had to say what's going on to my amazing co-host, Megan. What's going on? How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm wonderful. We are here. I'm excited about this new time, see how everyone likes it, and for people to join in the conversation. And so excited to have Elizabeth here. If you guys don't know Elizabeth, oh, you are in for a treat. You are in for a ray of sunshine. She is such a refreshing vibe you get on Instagram. She has grown her separate business before Instagram coaching and mentoring, wedding dance studio or wedding dance coach is your handle, right?
Yes.
And successfully grown and scaled that page, that brand, as well as her social media marketing and tips page. She is here to talk all things SEO with us. If you want to take a moment to say hi to everyone and introduce yourself, we would love for you to do so.
Well, thank you, Heston. Thank you, Meg. Hi, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Marberry. I'm so honored to be here with you today. I am an Instagram marketing strategist for small business owners, creatives, and entrepreneurs who want to not only grow their audience and boost their brand visibility, but also learn how to create content that drives actual leads and sales for their business. And what's really fun is I've done this, as Meg said, with both a brick and mortar service based local business here in Denver. And I've used these same strategies and techniques to grow my coaching and speaking business, which is an online brand. So, what I teach works for both business models. And I'm so honored to be joining you both here today. I admire you both. You are both thought leaders in this space, and I'm truly, truly honored to be a guest. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you once again for joining us on the Social Roundtable. I remember the last time we had a lot of fun, and I'm sure today's conversation is going to be very alike. We're going to have a lot of fun in regards to this topic that as everybody should have a better understanding of, and that is Instagram SEO. Once again, guys, this is the Social Roundtable, just at a different time, but it's the same show. It is a show that we go on weekly, myself and Megan, to share with you some of our favorite content creators and business owners ourselves in the world of social media, content creation, digital marketing, business, and more. And it's all to discuss the topics that you want to know. And today's conversation is no different. Instagram SEO hacks you're not using yet. Sounds like it's going to be a very complicated show. It is not. We're going to break it down in terms that we've learned from ourselves and have been able to utilize in our own content strategy on a daily basis. And we're going to get right into that conversation right now with the first question that I have. And as our special guest, Elizabeth, I'm
Mhm.
going to pose this question to you because it is pretty much a basic question. We want to set the grounds in regards to the topic today, SEO, or better known as search engine optimization. It is a major online concept that is a practice that pretty much everybody does, or they should be doing, that started even since the days of the .com era and the search engine browser wars that has now entered the entire social media realm in a major way. but many are still quite unaware of exactly what it is and how it affects them. So I want to ask you, Elizabeth, as a creator and a consumer, what is Instagram SEO pretty much for those that are completely unaware of what it is?
So, Instagram SEO is so important because as creators, we want our content to be seen and found by our ideal audience. And so search engine optimization is simply, you can think of it as when I go to search on Instagram or like many of us do on Google, you type in the search bar some keywords of what you're looking for. So let's say I'm on Instagram and I'm typing in Halloween crafts to do with my kids. Those are keywords that are gonna help to populate content that is going to help me find what I'm looking for, right? So, as business owners and creators on Instagram, none of us are creating content with the hope that it doesn't get seen, right? We want to be seen. And I always say, if you want to be paid, you got to be seen, okay? So let's go. We got to be seen. So it's very important that your content and your Instagram profile and bio is totally optimized to act like a magnet to attract your ideal client, customer, or ideal follower on Instagram. And so that is why search engine optimization is important, is so more of the right people find your content.
Exactly. And I think I love the way that you brought it to layman's terms in that way, because sometimes when we come across these terms that we see in our reading and we hear it all the time, you need SEO, you need SEO. What is SEO? And I love the way that you kind of broke it down, because it's pretty much that. It's that kind of practice of helping you get discovered. And as you said, you want to be seen to be paid. Nobody's getting paid if they're not being seen on
Mhm.
on Instagram or even just social media in general. So I love that breakdown of it. I want to go to my next question. Now that we have a full on understanding of what SEO is and how we can apply it to Instagram, my next question for you, because as you describe that, that might sound a little bit familiar to a few people. Maybe when you bring up the word hashtags. And I get this question quite often. So I want to go to you once again, Elizabeth. And then you could please, Megan, follow up with your idea about this also. Do you think Instagram search optimization, or SEO, has completely replaced hashtags today?
No, I don't. And I feel like this is one of those, points that people like to argue about, so I'm excited to hear what Meg has to say about it because everyone kinda has different thoughts on this, but, so there's been, I think, a lot of confusion on Instagram lately, quite frankly, around this topic because a lot of creators and Instagram marketing strategists and coaches and social media coaches are kinda using these, like, headlines of hashtags don't matter anymore, but
Yeah.
then if you, like, really read what they're saying, there's nuance to what they're saying, okay? So I'm really happy that you're asking this question. So to give everybody some context, years ago, I mean, I don't know the exact date, Meg, you probably do. But like 5 or 6 years ago even, Instagram was pretty, I would say, kind of behind in terms of really optimizing their platform for search. And so when that was the case, hashtags, like even back in like 2020, were so important. And if you didn't use a hashtag, you could potentially, the algorithm wouldn't necessarily know what your content was about, right? So you had to use these hashtags to literally describe what the content was about. Otherwise, it wouldn't know, where to classify or where to put your content. Because remember, Instagram makes money from um, putting content in front of the user that they're going to want to consume, right?
Yeah.
So what the algorithm does is it studies, okay, Heston's really into this particular concept of like let's say Heston is binging car content and he loves 911s and Porsches and he's watching all these Porsche videos, and what's going to happen is next time he goes on Instagram, it's going to populate more Porsche videos for Heston to consume because Instagram makes money from us being on the app, right? So that's the short story of how the algorithm works. So how does this tie into hashtags and search engine optimization? Is that in the past, those hashtags were extremely important at for discoverability of your content and really classifying your content under the different buckets so it can know where to put it. Hashtags are less important now because of all the updates that Instagram has done around search engine optimization. And I'm sure we're going to get into that today, exactly how to optimize your Instagram for search. But long story short, they can now, the algorithm can know what words you're using when you do a direct to camera video. So if you're speaking directly to the camera, it knows what words you're saying, so it can pull out those keywords. The hooks that you write on the screen have those keywords. Your caption has keywords. And so there's all of those different things that go into helping the algorithm understand that this piece of content is about this topic. Now, with that being said, I still recommend that my clients use hashtags for a couple reasons. One is people do still search hashtags. While they're not as important, it's not like the only way to be found. They are still really important. And what I teach my clients, and even in having a call with Meta, they verified this for me, is that your hashtags just need to be very specific. So, like on TikTok, it's the opposite. Your hashtags, the more general, the better. The more views on a hashtag, the better. On Instagram, it's the opposite. We want to be really niche with our hashtags. We want to be really specific. And so, do hashtags still matter? Yes, they do, but they're not as important as they were 5 years ago.
I can definitely agree with you on that. And I like the way that you shaped the conversation around this topic of our hashtags replacing, I'm sorry, is SEO replacing hashtags? That's the topic of the conversation right now, guys. Um, I want to kind of jump in here and add my own two piece because I'm pretty much on board with you in regards to that. I definitely believe there'll come a point in time. If you ask me the same question again, possibly the same time next year, I think I might change my answer. I might say SEO has completely replaced hashtags. But as of right now, hashtags I think still have some form of role, no matter how small that might be. I think that it does still play a role. We know that they have definitely changed compared to how we used to use them before. Whereas before we were using them like keywords, SEO keywords, to help be found and be discovered. That's no longer is the case. As Adam Mosseri, the head of Instagram, has stated numerous times, hashtags now are more for categorization. So we now don't even use it as drilled down as we kind of used to do it before. Now you can kind of get away with the way that TikTok does it in a more general way. I believe your practice, Elizabeth, is probably the best practice, but because of categorization, you can fall under those larger keywords as a hashtag. But I still do use hashtags. I don't do the whole 30. I do 5 hashtags on my posts normally. They are very specific to the post. And I think as of now, they're not doing any harm, and until the day I can see that, well, now they're making me lose followers or viewers or anything of that sort, I still utilize them. But I do put an emphasis on the keywords, SEO keywords in captions and in some of the other places we'll talk about in a few moments. Megan, how about you in regards to this question? Has SEO replaced hashtags? Is that something that most people believe? Do you believe that? And how are you moving forward in regards to this?
Well, I actually agree 100% with what has already been said in the regards that definitely doesn't replace it. I would say they're two different things. Like they really can't be overlapped. They're just used with different weight in the algorithm. So they're used for different purposes overall. Very similar, but I mean, they both have their own unique purpose. And also, like you said, Hassan, maybe in a year from now, I will change my mind on that. Maybe things will change quite a bit because they have done so much with SEO over the last year. I mean, just the simple thing of when you go to your post right below it or other people's posts, some accounts have this feature and some don't, but I can see in blue kind of what those keywords are, kind of a general topic of what Instagram thinks your post is about based on the text that you have on screen, the text that you have in your caption, the words that you're speaking, everything Elizabeth said, really allowing you to make sure you're on the right track. Make sure you are giving the right cues with your words, your keywords to Instagram about what your content really is about. And you can do a test to make sure, to prove to yourself that hashtags really are not the same as SEO, because you could use hashtags that you think it's about because you're trying to make a post about something. But then once you actually post it, Instagram's going to have those that blue title is going to be something totally different. And maybe it's not what you were aiming for, but you can kind of look at it and go, oh, I can see how it would think that. What can I do in the future to change it so it's correct? So yeah, my long answer, short, kind of winded there, but basically, no, they are not the same. I don't think that they're being replaced. I still use hashtags, and I'm curious to know from everyone in the audience, whether you're watching live or on the replay, thumbs up if you still use hashtags, thumbs down if you do not.
Big thumbs up over here, and I think it's across the board that the majority of us are still using hashtags on carousels, reels. Let me ask this random question to just those that are on the screen, but if you are going to jump in and say if you use hashtags, please share your answer as well. Generally, how many hashtags are you using on average? Elizabeth, you can answer first, and then Megan.
I love that you asked this question because this is going to kind of showcase my whole vibe of how I do Instagram. I don't have like a rule of thumb. Like I don't even count my hashtags because I
Okay.
would lose my mind. Okay? So, I essentially like my whole thing is this gets to be the easiest thing ever. If I was like thinking about how many hashtags I would want to do, I would say I'm already overthinking my content. Just do it. Okay? But I would say on average I do between 5 and 15 if I had to guess. But I just change it up depending on what I honestly feel like doing that day. So, not
Okay,
the
I
most
like that.
scientific answer, but I like to keep it simple so I can keep showing up.
Science. It doesn't have to be scientific. Whatever you feel like. How about you, Megan?
I love that. I agree that if you are like so focused on it, then I mean, you're overthinking it. That's tends to be something that you still to this day, even though they're not as popular, get that question a lot. Like, what are the perfect hashtags? In reality,
Yeah.
we don't know what they are. And if you are too focused on that, then you're not focused enough on the quality of your content and the connection with your audience, which is so much more important because there are people who blow up who don't use hashtags and people who blow up who do use hashtags. So they are not the only thing to focus on. And kind of like what Elizabeth said, I mean, I don't even really focus on them. To be honest, I don't plan them at all until the very end of my caption when I'm getting ready to hit post. And I'm like, oh, it's about this. Well, it's about this. Okay, it's speaking to this person. And I just hashtag what pops up. It's usually the same few that over and over. I would say that I use anywhere from 5 to 15 as well, probably like 5 to 10 on average.
All right. Okay. Well, it seems like we're all in the same idea, the same concept. Even JM in the live chat chimed in. They gave me a thumbs up and said they use generally between 4 and 6 hashtags. I use about 5 hashtags max. I usually leave like a little how should I put it, placeholder. There's like 5 placeholders, hashtag placeholders. If I could come up with all 5, great. If not, it is what it is. I delete the rest, move on with my life. I don't stress it. I'm more focused on the actual strategy behind the SEO that I use on that post, which is going to lead me to my very last question. I'm going to go to you first, Elizabeth, in regards to this question, but if you don't mind, I would like for you to share 2 answers, one now, and then we'll come back around. I'll share mine, Megan will share hers, and then you can kind of hit us off with a one final ultimate answer to this, because we're going to be asking about tips that we use ourselves to help practice using SEO on Instagram that we've been doing on our own content pretty much on a daily basis. So the question at hand right now is about Instagram SEO tips and strategies. Which ones are you currently using on your own Instagram account? If you could share one right now, Elizabeth, save the goody one for later.
I only get to share one? I have so many.
One right
Okay,
now. You'll share another one
fine,
afterwards.
fine.
They gotta go to your account for the rest. And just in case I
Ooh,
haven't said it already, I don't think I have. Check the links in the bottom of this video. We have all of our Instagram and YouTube pages there. You can find us if you want to kind of connect with us on the side, link up with us, join our communities and more, you can obviously do that using the links at the bottom, including Elizabeth's website. I believe is elizabethmarberry.com. I have that all listed in the show notes. Please make sure you check it out. But yeah, Elizabeth, you go ahead. You can share one now and you save another one for later.
Okay. So I want to start by highlighting a news update that I'm sure you've covered on your show, but I think it is very applicable to our conversation today. And that is, as of July 10th, 2025, Instagram made a massive update that your Instagram content can now show up in Google search results. And while that was true before, they're essentially really allowing Google to crawl and index Instagram at a whole nother level. So I share that because this is why this conversation that Heston and Meg wanted to do today is so important for you as a creator, is that you want your content to be found everywhere, and now the shelf life of your content can last so much longer. So it's interesting. I share that as part of my tip because I think sometimes we are short-sighted into how long our content can actually last on Instagram, and I wanted to make sure that you know that it can show up on Google now, which means that your content can work harder and smarter for you for much longer than before. So I wanted to celebrate that. So one of the ways that you get found on Google and on Instagram is through this search engine optimization. And the one tip that I want to bring in today is your name field on Instagram. So your name field, they used to make it very limited in characters, and now they've expanded it. And I teach my clients to really take advantage of that field because so we have our handle and we have so our handle is right at Elizabeth Marberry or at Wedding Dance Coach. That's your handle, which is also search engine optimized field on Instagram. So good to put some keywords in there. But in the name field, I, for example, would put in, if I have a personal brand, my name, Elizabeth Marberry, but then what are people searching? So it could be Instagram growth coach or Instagram marketing strategist. And this is where I tell my people, don't get all sassy and creative on me here. Okay. Stop doing that. Okay. So, for example, if you are a financial advisor to women, I don't want you to put in your name field wealth portal opener. Okay. Nobody is Googling and searching a wealth portal opener, my darling. Okay. But what they are searching is a financial advisor for female entrepreneurs. Okay. So that is my tip, is in that name field, make sure you type in some key words that your ideal client or customer or consumer of your content would be typing in.
Yes, I absolutely love that tip. It's something that I hear quite a few people say in our space, but not enough really harp in on what that means and what a good example is versus, like just kind of airy fairy stuff that, it's fun. I want you to be creative and really give yourself that personality, but like do that in your bio, do that in your sign off of your captions. Like don't do that during that very important spot. So totally agree.
Cool.
I was trying to pull this up as you were talking. It took a little bit longer than I expected, but this is just an example. And as Elizabeth has literally stated, she practiced it as well. This is her page on Instagram. Once again, you can find the link at the bottom of this video. But as she stated, and you can see here, she clearly has her keywords right here in the name field: marketing mentor and IG strategist, because this is what people, as she stated, will be searching for. And this area on Instagram is one of the very few that is now indexable from Google, as you shared, Elizabeth. That was something that we definitely did speak about, because I don't remember what the topic was. It was a video that Megan and I did prior, a few weeks back. And when this news came out, it blew my mind, because I thought this was the next best thing, precisely for what you just shared. It now can help our content last longer, because to me, I feel like my content doesn't last that long on Instagram. If a week, and I feel like that's even saying a lot, but now it's like, it's almost put them in the same realm as YouTube videos. Because I've come across YouTube videos that are like 2, 5, 10 years old. Imagine
Same.
now that your Instagram content could possibly be found for years later. And if it's something that's monetizable, when maybe you have a product connected to it or some type of service, It's now making you money. So content you posted last year can be making you money this year. And I love that concept because once again, it goes back to the idea of you're being seen. So now you're going to get paid.
That's how we do it. We get seen, we get paid. Let's go.
Let's go on to the next tip in regards to Instagram SEO. I'm going to go to you next, Megan, in regards to what do you practice yourself in regards to helping to get found using SEO on Instagram?
Yes, for sure. So I want to hone in on the two different types of keywords you should really be focusing on. You should be focusing on one, things that, yes, if you search Google things around your niche, around your topic, what are those reoccurring words that pop up? So using those words or phrases in your caption, text on screen, what you're actually speaking. But two, go into the comment section of other people in your niche, go on to Reddit and search those topics, Facebook groups, wherever your target audience is hanging out. And what specific phrases are they saying? What do they say to their best friends, when they're struggling with something around this topic or when they are working towards a goal in this topic or niche? What's their language? So you want to kind of use that, I want to say like slang, more like everyday language that your target audience is using. Plus, you want to use that more professional language that is going to help Instagram actually categorize you and know what buckets your content really fits into. So we're thinking about the words to describe the topics, the niche, what you're all about, and the words that your target audience is going to resonate with. What are they doing? How are they speaking? And merging this together to help really blend in your voice, your message, and how you want to show up on Instagram.
I
Oh
gotta
my gosh,
admit,
I
I have
love
not
that.
heard of that
Sorry.
one before.
I
No, go
love
right ahead, Elizabeth.
I'm sorry. I just like love how she just taught that concept. And Meg, I've never heard anyone break it down in those like two separate categories, right? Because we often say like speak like your ideal client or customer and use the keywords. So I really love how you broke that down. Like that was just so brilliant. And really when you're thinking about search engine optimization, both are so important and they are different. So thank you for highlighting that and teaching that in that way. That was really, really cool. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Because I don't think I've heard that description before in regards to the keywords. And I think it's something that we could obviously look at it and say, yeah, that's absolutely true. But we've never really had someone to say that's how you should be utilizing keywords within our content strategy to get discovered, kind of from both aspects, the algorithm and the audience. So I love the way you brought that up. Take note, people. We have a few more tips to share with you guys in regards to this topic. We are discussing Instagram SEO hacks and strategies that you are not using it yet. And bringing a school ourselves here on the show. Like I've never used that one before. I will definitely be using that strategy as well. I do want to share one that I use that maybe you may have heard of before. I think it's actually quite important, particularly to carousels and single images. And I say that because I don't believe you could do it on Reels. I might stand corrected on this. But when I share carousels, what I generally do is everything that's in the carousel. A little FYI for those that don't know, this might blow your mind a little bit, Megan and Elizabeth. When I write carousels, for the most part, I almost treat it like it's a tweet, each slide. So it's not a lot of content on it. I try to aim for 140 characters per slide. I really try to keep it brief, concise, so that it's an easy flow. And in order for me to do that, because I have to know the character length, I actually keep it on a notepad, one of my notepad apps. And what I do is when I am preparing to post the actual carousel, I go into, and I want to make sure I get this correct. I took note. I want to go into the alt text, or better known as alternative text. You can find this on Instagram when you're actually preparing to post. There's a little section at the bottom. It's labeled advanced settings. You go to that and then you click accessibility and you'll see it listed as write alt text. Now, what this is really for and I'm speaking as a web developer because that's what I used to do before social media. What this journey was used for was to describe images for those that are either visually or hearing impaired in regards to certain disabilities that they might have. So this was more of an accessibility feature to help get those to understand what's being presented on the website. If it's an image, you could put in descriptive text so that that person generally would have a screen reader and it would read to them what the image is being displayed. And that's how you generally reuse it. And that's how we use it on Instagram as well. So you're describing the slide that, if it's a photo of a flowers, you'll say there's a bouquet of flowers in this image. But those texts are searchable by Google and any other search engine. So what I do is whatever text is in the slide, I put it as the alt text as well. So if it's the cover slide and it has the name of it, like let's just say it was about this actual show and the show's title is Instagram SEO hacks, I copy and paste that from my notepad and I put it right into the alt text for that particular slide. And I do that for each slide because my belief is the fact that Instagram allows, now that they're being searchable by Google and all the other search engines, these search engines are looking at those images and taking all of the metadata, which is most likely the alt text, and using that to help index them on search engines. So this is a practice that not a lot of people talk about too much, but it's something I've been doing particularly with my carousels. And I think it's actually been helping quite a bit in regards to going and searching beyond Instagram to find content related to those keywords that are being searched for. So that's something that I want to present to you guys to consider. It is a good way to practice good, just good content creation to help those that might have accessibility issues. But there is that other aspect that it might benefit you in regards to search engines as well. So that's my little tidbit in regards to helping on Instagram SEO that I would love to share with you guys. I'm wondering from you both, Megan and Elizabeth, do you guys use alt text often?
No, I don't. And I was going to ask you, can you add alt text to reels or is it just carousels?
I believe it's just carousels. I
Okay.
haven't tried it in a long time, but I did like maybe let's say 6 9 months ago, and I didn't see that option for reels. And
Okay.
I think it's because whatever is on the screen, AI has a better opportunity, or they put more trust in AI to get that information from the video. We know Instagram is scraping the videos. We don't have to tell them we're on a skateboard. They know we're on a skateboard. They could probably even tell you what color and the size, what brand of the
Mhm.
skateboard. They know all of that. So they're utilizing that with their video, and I think that that's helping their AI in the long run. Maybe they're doing it also on photos, but I think they're being a little bit more trustworthy with us to actually fill in that information.
On
Mm.
carousels, how do you access the alt text? Is it like when you're typing in the caption, is there like an advanced option and then an text box? Because I've actually never even
There's
looked at this.
when you're on the post page for carousel, so you've inserted
Mhm.
your carousels, you went through that whole entire process. It's the very last page where you do put in your caption. At the
Mhm.
bottom of that screen, you'll see advanced settings. So when you click into that, it opens up another window. And then if the bottom of that, you'll see a section labeled accessibility. Right underneath that, you'll see where it says write alt text. And you can write alt text for each slide. So that's how I generally
Wow.
do it.
Super cool. I can't wait to try it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's good.
I've done it a while ago. I was doing it all the time. I really don't do it too often now. Every so often, I'm like, oh yeah, I should do that. But I don't put too much focus on it. A plus to you for giving that effort because that is something that I think a lot of people sleep on, and not only like you said with increasing your reach and visibility, but for people who actually need it because they are unable to see the content, then that screen reader will speak that to them. So it is very, very important to do. And a great way to also, like we were saying, how Instagram's getting so smart and just kind of categorizing your stuff for you, help reiterate to Instagram, no, this is what it's about. This is what it
Yeah.
is. Super important. Can also help you in, sometimes people get strikes against them for content being inappropriate or whatever, but in reality, maybe Instagram messed up and didn't read it right or see it right. That's another big way to back up, like, no, look, you can actually
True.
see here what it is, and just have more things on your side. So I love that you do that.
Yes, thank you. And I once again, you guys go ahead. I'm seeing the live chat taking that they are taking notes from what we're sharing. I'm so glad to see that from everybody. Listen, we got one more big tip that we're going to get from our special guest. Our Hey, listen, this is just an action packed, as far as I'm concerned, tons of notes taken in regards to this conversation that we're having, because a lot of the things you guys are sharing I haven't done myself, and I'm going to put them into practice. I'm going to go back to this video myself and start taking more notes. I might steal a couple of you guys notes that I see in the live chat. Before we go to our last tip, just want to remind you guys, this is the Social Roundtable, our weekly live series. We do this every Monday, myself and Megan, and every Monday we bring in a very special guest. We're now doing it at 3 p.m. this month. And our first guest for the new time slot is none other than Elizabeth Marberry. If you are not following her just yet, you're not aware of what she offers in regards to her services and products, please take a moment to check the links in the bottom of this video. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You'll be able to learn a lot more from her and still stay connected to her Instagram and YouTube, as well as my own and Megan. And if you are not following or subscribed just yet to this YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like this video so more people can find it, so they can find out such great information like our last tip that none other than Elizabeth Marberry is going to share with us, as we reveal to you guys once again our own Instagram SEO tips and strategies that we use. Elizabeth, you have the mic on for the last one. What are you gonna hit us with to take
I
us home
mean,
on this
no
video?
pressure. No pressure. This has to be the biggest tip. Okay. All right. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. So I feel like one of the things that Meg highlighted is that when we talk about search engine optimization, we always talk about keywords. And I love how she differentiated keywords that could be typed into Google are different from voice of customer. Okay. In other words, how does your ideal client or customer speak? How do they describe their problem? Not you as the expert. How do they say what they're struggling with, right? And it is so important that we use those words. So taking this a step further of, let's say you did exactly what Meg advised you to do, and you've done this research and you've looked at Reddit and you've created a doc where you've copied and pasted the exact words that your ideal client or customer is using. Now, you leverage those words of your ideal client or customer. Where do you put those? Well, you put them in your hooks, you put them in your captions, and all of that, your carousels, your story slides, your scripts, all of that will lead to discoverability of your content. Now, here is my tip. I'm getting to my tip. All right. Leverage trial reels to see and discover which of these words and placement of words is going to resonate with your ideal client. Because the whole point of this conversation of search engine optimization is, like we said at the beginning of the conversation, in order to get paid, you have to get seen. If people don't know you exist, they can't buy from you. So what you can do is you essentially do what's called in the marketing world an A/B test. And you can do that with trial reels. And here's exactly how you do it. So one of my clients did this, and it was just so neat to see her results. She took the exact same video clip. She had text on the screen that was this really inspiring quote that would speak to her ideal clients. Okay. Then at the top, so all three of these videos, same exact video, same exact audio. She found a trending audio, same exact quote on the screen. But at the very top, we played with different messaging in calling out her ideal client. So one had no call out, it just had this inspiring message. One had, hey, sis, dot, dot, dot. And then one of them had to women everywhere. Okay. So you can just hear, I mean, this is simple stuff, right? when we think about our messaging, we think of like elementary, 5th grade reading level,
Yeah.
super easy to consume and scroll and take in, right? So just you can hear how simple those 3 different choices were. She posted those as trial reels. One of them had like 500 views. The Hey Sis had a couple thousand, and then to the Two Women Everywhere had over 5K views. And so my point in teaching this concept is that then you can test out these keywords and these voice of customer messages that you are compiling. And then once you find the piece of content that's resonating with your people, then you can post it and share it to everybody, because we know that trial reels go to people who don't already follow you. So
Yeah.
it's a great way to get data. And it's a great way for you to discover and further understand those keywords and voice of customer that's going to resonate. And then you can do more of what's working for you. So that would be my tip, is leverage trial reels to discover and test and see what is going to resonate, because then your content is going to be found by your ideal client or customer. They're going to find you, they're going to see you, they're going to binge your stuff, they're going to click your links, and they're going to pay you that money, baby.
I
Yes.
love that idea. I think this might be the first time we even mentioned trial reels during this conversation, which is so interesting. But that is a great use of trial reels that I don't think too many people are really utilizing trial reels for. I feel like that's its purpose, but we've been utilizing it for just the following growth so much that we kind of forgot, hey, we should be using this too, as you said, test A and B and other aspects of our messaging. That's key, because what we learn we can move forward with and improve the rest of our content that may not be trial reels. We might be able to use, hey woman everywhere on some of the other content that we are specifically trying to target them that are not trial reels, maybe on a carousel, maybe on a single image. And we've been able to prove that it worked on the trial reel. Awesome tip, Elizabeth. I love that one.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree. In the sense of really reframing the mindset of how we're using trial reels and looking at it as that place to experiment those different keywords and keyword phrases. That is such an underrated tip and so powerful. So thank you for sharing that one. Heston, am I going in on mine here?
What's that?
Are we ready for mine, or are we going to you? I'm excited for mine, I guess.
Oh no, I'm done. I shared mine already. I'm done.
Oh. Okay, well, I have a little bonus one, I guess, is what I was alluding to, because I was talking about using Google and using Reddit and like places like that, but actual place inside the Instagram app that I don't know how I forgot about this, but when you search like on your explore page a topic within your niche, those phrases that come up underneath before you actually see suggested accounts or audios or whatever, it's going to come up with some similar or like search phrases that you could pay attention to, because those are things that people are actually searching for. So just random example here to give you like such a niche one, because I feel like a lot of businesses, like the one I'm going to give an example of, they're kind of like, I don't really know what people care about to see for Instagram content. Pressure washing. Say you're a pressure washing business. And you're feeling like, okay, cool, I'm just going to, show myself pressure washing, or, the before and after, whatever. That sounds really good, right? To show the before and after. But actually, when I search that, pressure washing is the first thing that comes up, then pressure washing business, then pressure washing satisfaction. So it's that like that full process where people love to watch things get organized. People love to watch things go from
Yeah.
chaotic to, beautiful, and or start the artwork from start to finish or whatever. It's the satisfaction that you should start to use in your content instead of before and after. And you wouldn't know that if you didn't search that on Instagram. So start to use your keywords and search there to add to your list of keywords and things to post in your content.
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one either. I'm hearing a lot of different tips and strategies today from you both that I have not heard a lot, or anybody speak of. So I hope you guys that are watching are really taking note, because it doesn't seem like a lot of people are onto a lot of these tips. And if you do practice them, you're gonna move further. That's just what I'm thinking, right, Elizabeth? Like, these are some
Oh, yeah.
golden nuggets.
I mean, you can watch the video and it's not going to help you. You have to go, success goes to the implementers. So you have to take one or two things that we shared today. You don't have to do them all. Take one or two things and go and implement it this week. And you do that week after week, and 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now, you will not even recognize your business. You will not even recognize your account. So try not to be overwhelmed. I mean, I'm learning so much today too. So just take one or two things and go and run with it.
Yes, absolutely. Couldn't say it any better than that. And I think that's pretty much the end of our conversation in regards to sharing strategies and tips. You guys got a lot. I was planning for four, but there's been a lot of little extra bonus tips and nuggets that we've been able to kind of sneak in there during our conversation. So I'm so glad you guys gonna be walking away with something to actually utilize. Some of these tips you can utilize starting today on your very next post. So, as we always say, move forward, step your gram up in the best way possible. And if you ever want to give us a question, get in contact with us after you are utilizing some of these strategies and tips, once again, our information is in the show notes of this video. So, you could always get in contact with us there. Um, During our conversation, yeah, somebody said, these are all gold. Yes, thank you very much for that comment in the live chat. Thank you so much. Um, I During our conversation, I asked if there was any questions. I haven't gotten any questions just yet. Maybe I will. We'll see. But what I would like to do now is move over to Megan, who is going to host our game. I think you played one of these before with us, Elizabeth. We like to have a little bit of fun, lay back a little bit. This is just a fun game between us here on the screen. But for those that are watching in the live chat, you can also jump in as well and share your answer there. If you're watching the replay, please feel free to jump into the comments and share your answer as well. Megan, the mic is all yours.
Awesome. All right. So today we are playing Would You Rather. Going to give you two scenarios, ideas, things, and simply say, would you rather A or B? If you had to choose, okay? Sometimes it's hard to choose, but you have to choose. The first one, I think we've done something similar like this one before, but a little different. Would you rather A, have unlimited content ideas but no time to create them, or B, have unlimited time but no ideas? Elizabeth, your answer first.
Oh my gosh, this one's easy for me. Unlimited time and no ideas. Like this brain never shuts off. Like I have 50 new business ideas before breakfast every day. Like give a girl a break. If I could have lots of time and no ideas, what a blessing.
I love that. Yes,
It's
definitely.
funny.
Heston.
That's funny because so many people say that they have problems of ideating, and you have the opposite. You have too many ideas. So maybe that sounds like a business
ADHD,
in itself.
ADHD brain.
I'm actually going to agree with Elizabeth on this one. I think time is something. I think time is the most valuable asset on earth, as far as I'm concerned. It's way more valuable than money, as far as I'm concerned. And if you could give me more time, especially nowadays with the invention of AI, that's fine. That just give me more time to play with ChatGPT and figure out something.
Yeah, for sure. I have to agree. If I could have more time without the ideas, same. My brain is always going. If you like ask Heston, we have meetings every Friday, and I come to these meetings with like, okay, wait, but I have this idea. Oh, but we could also do this. But we could also do this, like to work on the show. And Heston's like, okay, yeah, I'll add that to the list. I'll add that. Like he just keeps this running list of
Ever
all these
growing
ideas.
list.
And I'm like, sorry, I know we haven't completed the last 30, but hey, I've got another idea. So I feel that.
It's so good. It's so good.
I don't know, Heston, if you want to let me know if anyone's saying anything in the comments, A or B on that. But as you're looking at it, I will go to the next question, the final. Would you rather? Would you rather A, have your audience double overnight, or B, have your income double over the next year? Elizabeth, what would you say?
I would much rather have my income double over the next year. Um, followers don't pay your bills, and I love don't get me wrong, I've had videos that go viral and I've gotten thousands of followers from one piece of content. And I'm like, it's like a kid in a candy store. You're like, oh my God, give me more candy. Like it's so fun. But that at the end of the day, truly, what I have found and what I coach my clients to, it's almost a mindset is don't forget why you're doing this. And content can easily be a distraction from the bottom line of your business and really what matters. And so most of my clients, they're not wanting to just grow a following to become an influencer and sell and get brand deals and sell other people's products. They want to grow an audience to sell their products and services. And so how they know they're successful is if they're getting actual leads and sales from that content. And I'm just the same way. It's like I love, yeah, I love follower growth, but at the end of the day, I would much rather, yeah, have that boost to my bottom line. Take my kids to Hawaii or something.
I love that. You have the vision of it, right?
Yeah.
Aston, what would you say?
I think this one's the easy one for me. I'm in perfect alignment with Elizabeth, because of pretty much exactly what you shared. Followers does not equal money. And I just said in the last question, who I want to make sure I state also, in regards to the last question in the live chat, somebody did say chat is our bestie content creator. So I think they're going with that one. So they can rely on the chat bot to ChatGPT to create content creation. But in regards to this question, you also stated income double next year. I'm also in agreement with that because you could have 500,000 followers and still be making less than a person that has 5,000 followers. Followers does not equal income. In the previous question, I said time is the most valuable thing next to money. I'm not putting followers in between that. I'm not putting followers over money. Money's the next thing besides time. All right. So I'm definitely going with that one. And on that note, I just want to share something that I'm doing. I don't know if you've seen my post, Elizabeth. I have a slightly over 10,000 followers. The last few months, I actually reviewed every single follower that I have manually. I have exactly, I know how many people are active, how many are inactive, and all of that. The purpose behind this is I created a series that actually starts this week in regards to breaking down the myth that you need 10,000 followers, because 10,000 followers, as far as I'm concerned, it ain't, I'm not going to curse here, but it ain't, you know what I mean. All right. So,
It's not a magic bullet.
yeah, it's, you get there, there's no celebration, there's no rewards. Instagram is not paying you because you have 10,000 or more followers just because you reached that milestone. And I've seen people with 500. I was going to say 1,000. No, I remember I've met this person. He had about 500 followers and was making, I'm not going to disclose how much money this person was making, but it was a lot more than that amount per month. It was a lot. It was definitely, I think, 5 figures from 500 followers. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, totally. Yes. I love that. And I think that a lot of people will get caught saying that, but then in the day to day, they're like, no, I need followers. I need followers because
Yeah.
it's so easy to forget that does not equal your worth or, your actual worth or your income, your net worth. So it's easy to forget about that. So I think if we can find ways to remind ourselves, like Elizabeth said early on, why we're here, what is the purpose behind our content, why did we start this, and if you did start because you wanted to grow the brand and the recognition and become insta famous, heck yes, that's great. I'm happy for you. That's not wrong by any means. I mean, do what you want and create content for whatever purpose you feel connected to. But if you are here to make an income and make that lasting impact, then remembering that the bottom line, you got to treat this like a business, not just fun content. Make that fun content part of your business for sure.
Yeah. I like that. Love
Thank
that.
you everyone
Well
for playing
said.
along.
Well said. Yes, we definitely got a few answers in the live chat. I'm quite sure these two questions are going to pose some answers in the comments as well. So thank you, everybody who had joined us today in regards to our conversation all about Instagram SEO hacks. We are pretty much at the end of our live, and we are so thankful. Megan and I are so thankful that we had the amazing Elizabeth Marberry joining us once again. All of the links are in the show notes of this video. You can connect with any one of us on screen there, whether it's via our YouTube channels, respective YouTube channels, or Instagrams. You can connect and DM us if you would like to learn a little bit more and join our respective communities on either platform. But I want to give you a moment, Elizabeth, to kind of at the end of our conversation now, please share with the audience what are you up to, where they can find you, and anything else that comes to mind that you would love to share with the audience.
Thank you. Yeah, I want you to know that today, actually, I dropped one of the biggest interviews I've ever done on my podcast with Jeff Woods. He's the author of The AI Driven Leader, and he is truly a trailblazer in the world of AI. And his perception is that we are often spending 80% of our time with AI focusing on content and things that are only going to drive 20% of the results of our business, and we need to flip it. What if AI could help us focus on the 20% of things we're doing in our business that's driving 80% of the results? And this man is just one of those people who helps you to really understand that we all kind of put these really unconscious glass ceilings above ourselves personally and within our businesses of what we think is possible. And this interview, I truly believe, could shift the consciousness of the listener, truly, like allowing you to think bigger and how to leverage AI and ChatGPT as a strategic thought partner, and how to use AI to enhance you, not replace you. So many of us are using ChatGPT, but it's causing our work to be mediocre, and it's causing us to sound like everyone else. So this episode I dropped today on my podcast is the fifth installment of my 5-part series on how to leverage AI and ChatGPT in your Instagram marketing strategy. So, definitely, if you are a podcast listener, please go check it out. My podcast is called Strut It, Bold Visibility Through Instagram Marketing. And I have no doubt that it will, just this one episode alone will just serve you so deeply. And if you are interested in working with me, you can head over to my website, which is just my first and last name, Elizabeth Marberry, MARBERRY.com. I have a group coaching program called Hot Reels, the 12-month Instagram content lab. And then I also have one spot left in my private mentorship program for this year. I only take 5 clients a year, and I work very in depth with them on their business. So if that's something you're interested in, go to my website or feel free to DM me on Instagram to connect. My Instagram handle is just my first and last name, Elizabeth Marberry, MARBERRY. And thank you, Heston and Meg, for having me on today and for giving me this seat. I am so grateful.
Absolutely. We are always glad you're able to join us. And I have to say this. I was saying this to Elizabeth earlier before our show went live. I listened to that podcast. I think I may have been the first listener today on that podcast. And what she said just now about it changing the way you look at AI, I 1,000% agree. Because I'm actually going to listen to it again, Elizabeth. The next time, take notes, because that was a really great and pivotal interview with Jeff Woods, and it really has changed my concept of how to utilize AI. And I'm gonna, as I said, I'm gonna try to see if I can start utilizing that formula that he has. I won't say what it is. You guys got to check out the podcast. The way he describes it, really well done. And utilize it myself. So go ahead and check that out. All the links are in the description of this video, once again, including how you can connect with my co-host, Megan, who also has a little bit to share as well in regards to what she's up to and where you can find her.
Yes, for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you. Before I go into that, Elizabeth, for being here. Always appreciate you and all of your opinions and your thought leadership in this space. So thank you very, very much. And you guys can come hang out with Heston and I here every Monday, except for next Monday. I will say next Monday is a holiday, so we will not be here. But for the next 2 Mondays after that, we will be there live for sure, 3 p.m. To Eastern Standard Time to come hang out and pull up a seat at the Social Roundtable. And if you want more content from me, you can head over to my YouTube channel here or my Instagram, Threads, TikTok. I'm in all the places. And I spend most of my time on Instagram. So newest content will always be there.
Yes. So make sure once again that you are following all of us. Jump into the DMs if you'd like to get in contact with us, including myself. You can find my link, whether it's to YouTube, Instagram. Always forget Threads as well. I've had a very interesting week with Threads. Very interesting. I'll probably share that on another episode or so. But if you're looking to hang out with myself, I am now currently running a brand new school on school.com. It is all about Manychat, DM automation. And if that is something that you're interested to learn much more about, it was even a topic on Strutted podcast that I've jumped on with Elizabeth a couple of months ago. But yeah, if you're interested to learn more about DM automation and Manychat, please go ahead and check it out. I believe the link is also in the show notes. And we'll be back, as Megan said, in 2 weeks, not next week. 2 weeks. I'm glad she said that because I forgot about the holiday. I would have been here like, where is everybody? But with that said, I hope that you guys have a great one. Looking forward to seeing you guys come back again. Please, once again, subscribe if you haven't yet. Tell your others all about the Social Roundtable, and we will see you guys later in the next 2 weeks. Thanks again, Elizabeth, for joining us, and we will see you later. Bye, everybody.